Got sound?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, so cool. So here's the thing. I'm a firm believer. Right now, there's probably not a ton of for sale by owners right now, just because the cycle of business is generally where when prices are good, right? You'll see some, I guess, because they think, hey, look, it's selling so fast. Why would I pay somebody 6% to have it sell in 3 days, right? And so you'll see some, but generally the thought is, hey, you know what? I got plenty of equity, right? And so I can absorb that 6% into my selling cost as a seller in the seller mindset, and so I'm good. I think that when you start to see flattening of prices and you begin to get things a little tighter, now equity starts to diminish, and or that, hey, instead of having 20% of play in there, now I've only got 8% of play, and if I'm going to give 6 of that away, I'm not so sure I want to do that, right? So you begin to see more for sale by owners. Even though the time on the market might stretch out, they just say, hey, look, it's worth it to hang on to that, you know, or stretch it out a little bit because I can't afford to give away 75% of my equity, right, that I currently have. So you begin to see some for sale by owners. So you guys know my story. I worked a lot with buyers, and that was my case. I developed this, and I started doing this for sale by owners for a twofold purpose. And I did it strictly, honestly, for the true reason I approached them with, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. But it ended up being very lucrative on the listing side as well, because I ended up getting a lot of these listings. So it was kind of cool. Thanks a bunch. Mm-hmm. Here's the process, right? Remember, I tell you, I teach upside down and backward, right? Different than everybody else. I'd gone to one of my I was at a Prudential office, I think, at the time in the training. So we're going to do for sale by owner training. So they came in and said, how we're going to attack for sale by owners, right? So they said, here's what you got to do. You got to go in with a stack of papers this thick. Got to make an appointment, get them to, agree to meet with you. You get a stack of papers this thick, and you're going to go in and say, hey, only a fool represents themselves in court. Only an idiot would dream of trying to sell their home on their own. You're not prepared to do this, that, and the other. Hey, good morning. All this paperwork. You're not prepared to handle all this. Are you? So you get it to a contract, big deal. Are you prepared for this disclosure and this addendum? You start throwing this stuff around, and they're going to freak out. They're going to realize how much they need you, and they're going to sign up right then and there. But, that doesn't feel that good to me, right? Well, first of all, somebody comes into my house and tells me you can't do something, right? What's the first thing I'm going to tell you? Yeah, so I'm going to prove them wrong. Dadgummit, I'm going to, you say only a fool tries to sell his own home? Then guess what? Call me a fool, but I'm doing it, all right? Here I go, right? And so I said, let me attack it a different way. Let me not go that way. Let me try it again, with the approach of, hey, let me help you, see if I can help them. Because quite frankly, I was working with so many buyers because I was meeting them at the open houses, right? I was working with so many buyers that I would see for sale by owners a lot, right? And I would try and avoid them because I didn't want my buyers asking about them, right? I'd avoid those streets if I knew they were there. As I was driving to another one, if I had to go down that street, hey, look, is that a plane exploding? You're so whatever, trying to distract their attention. I could drive by real fast so they couldn't write the number down, yeah.
But it happened. One time it happened with me.
Yeah.
I had a buyer who asked me to see that specific house.
Yeah.
And we went there. I wasn't expecting across street, just across
yeah.
the house.
Right.
Fell by owner.
Yeah.
And the guy, he asked me, okay, I want to see that house.
Mm-hmm.
And
piece of cake. Here's what I started doing. Instead of avoiding them, I said, hey, you know what? I've got so many buyers. I don't have enough properties, right? That maybe this one would fit for my buyer, right? Or maybe I'm going to have a buyer that is driving around the neighborhood after they leave me, right? And want to get a feel for them, and they find this thing. So why not be proactive on the front side? So I started doing is go up, just knocking on the door, try and catch the person in. Now again, it's eyeball to eyeball. I didn't phrase it that way. I went when I was specifically going to try and catch the person there. All right, so I wanted to catch them there, and I could have the information because I pulled up the public records. They might have had a flyer outside. Nowadays they probably do. Back then it was very antiquated. They just stuck a Home Depot for sale by owner sign in the yard with their phone number. Didn't have any this other stuff, and so I'd go to know who they were, knew a little bit about the property, at least from what the public records could tell me, and what the flyer could tell me if they had any information. And I'd say, hey, Mr. Jones. All right, my name's Bob McDougald. First of all, I'm a real estate broker, all right? And I said, but before you slam the door, all right, because they're getting inundated all the time. People come and knocking them on the door all the time. Hey, I want to list your home, all right? Before you slam the door, I don't want to list your home. All right, what? Okay, no, I'm just telling you, I don't want to list your home. Again, I'm doing it upside down and backwards. I just got to tell you, I'm working with a ton of buyers right now, and I've got buyers that your home may fit what they're looking for. The other thing I know too is I don't want to list your home. The second thing I know is you don't want to pay a commission. I get that. I understand. I wouldn't want to pay, if I could sell my car without paying a commission, if I could sell my bicycle without having to pay a commission, if I could sell anything without having to pay a commission, I get it, all right? That's money out of your pocket. I understand why you're doing it, and it's totally cool with me. My question is this, is that I've got these buyers that I'm working with. I said, if I could structure a deal, right? If I had a buyer that was interested, if I could structure a deal where you could net what you want to net, and there's still some money in there to get a commission paid for me, would you at least consider the offer, right? I got them off of not working with the realtor to let's be net minded, right? Okay, so hey, as long as you net what you're trying to, as long as you walk away with what you want to walk away, all right? Does it really matter if I make some money? That's kind of what I was telling them, right? And I said, and I've literally got buyers, I could show you a list of them right now, that your home may fit. I don't know about it, because we don't know if it would fit or not, because it's not in the MLS, I can't see pictures and all that stuff, but it's a possibility. My question is, and probably 90 to 95% of them would be open to that. Hey, you're not committing to anything. I'm not asking you to sign a listing agreement. I already told you I don't want to list your home, right? I just want to see if I can help some of my buyers find a place that might fit for them. Okay, fair enough. So great. Hey, look, I know, and by the way, people tell me all the time, oh yeah, I went prospecting for sale by owners and it hasn't been very successful. I say, okay, what are you doing? Well, I'm leaving stuff on the, stuck in the door. I said, well, first of all, when are you going? Well, I went Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. I said, okay, well, we're hoping people are working, right? There's probably a chance. Okay, it sounds to me like you're going when you're trying not to see them eyeball to eyeball, right? You're trying to avoid them, right? You got to go at a time, and for me, 9 to 11 on Saturday morning seem to be the best. Like, it's not perfect. People have soccer games and football games, right, Jim, and all this kind of stuff, cheerleading that they're going to, all these things. But in a perfect world, okay, your better shot is somewhere in that range, okay? Hey, Kev, look what we're using, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? See?
That's really good.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you. It's clear as a bell. So, go when you're going to try and get eyeball to eyeball with them, because they say, oh, I left stuff in the door. I said, yeah, and did you have to move the other 5 realtor stuff in the door? All right, because the other 5 realtors have been ahead of you leaving stuff in the door about, hey, I want to list your home, right? Even if yours says, I don't want to list your home, they're going to assume that yours is just like the others, right? And so go get eyeball to eyeball with them, okay? Because you're going to win there, all right? And you go and you say with the approach of, hey, I don't want to list your home. I'm just looking to see if I can structure a deal where you and I can work out a deal where my buyers can be satisfied, you can be satisfied with your net, and I can still make a commission. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, so they'd say, yeah, I'd consider it. All right, great. Hey, I don't know what to tell my buyers about your property. I said, so now may not be a good time, beds aren't made and all that kind of stuff, but I'd like to know that, hey, could I swing by? Let's set up an appointment where I could swing by and just come take a quick peek, snap a few photos, just so I can tell my buyer about this place. And better yet, if I've got a couple buyers specifically in mind, maybe even I can bring them, if you're comfortable with that, bring them and now, by the way, protection-wise, until you get this done, you have, when you're showing the buyer the property, you have a commission agreement, okay, single property. There's a commission agreement in our forms that basically says it's like a listing agreement for that buyer on that home. Okay, say, hey, look, 123 Main Street, Mr. Jones, if Bill and Susie buyer buy the home, future homes owed a commission. All right, so perfect, right? So we're good to go. They aren't agreeing to a price or anything yet. We don't know if the Bill and Susie even like the house, right? So you can protect yourself that way. Anyway, so what I would do, though, is go, and the first time I'd go, I'd say, hey, I'll look around, if things look great, let me go back and do some more analysis now that I've seen the home, and I can give you my opinion of the pricing, just because, just as a fact, I'm going to represent the buyer, right? And I'm going to show them comparables, and you need to know what those comparables are, and what other people would be looking at as well. And an appraiser would be looking, even if you found a deal on your own, okay? So just totally being upfront, low key, not salesman-y, just totally, hey, laid back. Let me help. I'm just trying to help my buyers. Then while I'm there, what I would do now, this is, again, you might have to adjust this based upon today's market and what the seller's doing. But back then, like I said, it was just a Home Depot sign with their name, with their phone number in there, right? So I would go and say, hey, look, I saw you have your sign out there, and that's great. And notice a couple things. You don't have a sign-in sheet, and so if people are making appointments to come, it's kind of it's a little, we know that people can put fake names on there anyway, put Mickey Mouse and give bad addresses and all that stuff. But at least if they know you're tracking who's coming in, they might be less, all right, potentially less, or more concerned that you're tracking who they are, so they're not just here to case the joint, right? Okay, so they're not just going to walk in, because you got to be concerned about that, right? You don't know who's walking in your home if you're for sale by owner, right? Just kind of, hey, come on in. I said, so notice your sign. It didn't have anything else. Didn't have a flyer. Didn't have any. I said, I got a program. I told you I like working with buyers, right? So, and did I tell you I didn't want to list your home? I told you I didn't want to list your home, right? Okay, didn't want to list your home, all right? But how about if I put a little better sign out there? All right, a little more professionally done, looks a little better. All right, how about some flyers? And it won't take me, I've got a camera and I've got this stitching software that for, seconds on my day, literally, I'm so good at this, I can put you a little virtual tour together. Would you mind if I provided all that? He's like, oh yeah, no, you're not getting a sign because I told you I don't want your sign. I said, no, it's not yours. It's not my sign, it's your sign. It says for sale by owner and has your content. None of my information's there. Yeah, it's on the flyer. No, not on the flyer either. Right? It's all about you. I was like, what in the world? Why would you? I said, well, look, here's the deal. I do this. You can maybe give you a chance to be more professional. I'm going to provide a sign-in sheet for you. I told you I like working with buyers, right? And so with this sign-in sheet, depending on your activity, every week, maybe every 2 weeks, you don't want that sign-in sheet looking stale, right? Because if that gets old, when people do come in, they look at it and they say, oh, man, this house has been on the market 3 months. This guy's got to be motivated, right? And so you want to freshen this up. There she is, Miss America. All right. When we bring in those sign-in sheets, I want to exchange those out so it doesn't look like it's been on the market that long. Okay, fair enough, because there is no MLS number to check, so that's kind of cool. So we can just tell from the sign-in sheet. So buyers, I said what I'm going to do is maybe let's say every other week we'll set up a time I can come and trade that out for you, and all I'm going to do is ask permission to see if there are 8 people on there. Hey, are any of these 8 really hot on your property? None of them. Okay, great. Then I'm going to just call these people because these are potential buyers. Obviously, they're in the market, all right, and they're not out looking with somebody potentially, right? There's no realtor accompanying them. They need somebody like me, all right? So I'm going to just call these people and see how legit these phone numbers are. Are they giving us bogus numbers or not? But that's my job, and that's the only thing you have to pay me is that I have the right to call these people with your permission. And I sold properties to the people that were on this list. Like, how did you get my number? Well, you went and looked at for sale by owner on, that home with the crappy this, that, and the other, yeah, that one. Okay, yeah, we hated that property. I said, great, I understand. I said, are you tired of, wandering around the desert looking for a home? How about if we start to, narrow our focus? Let me help you, right? Have you heard the advantages of working with a buyer's agent? You don't have to pay me anything, and I get to work for you, and da-da-da-da. So I just go into my spiel. And I've picked up buyers that way. Was it worth the probably $27 total investment between my sign and this? Nowadays, you could even set up a single property website form. If you got your listing stuff templated, all right, it doesn't take you 45 minutes to set up some of this stuff. And if you've got a system down, and now you provide this for the seller. Like, wow, why would you do that free of charge? You're killing. I said, because the guy's already said, I don't want to list, right? That's why he's a for sale by owner. Cool, all right? 70% of the time, all right, by the third 2-week session, I go back, hey, Mr. Jones, I'm just here to change out the sheet, no problem. Hey, looks like you had some activity this week, this session, not a problem. I'll get a fresh sheet, everything else going well. Do you need some more flyers out there? How's everything? Get your sign in my yard now. Get a lockbox on the frickin' door. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, I'm tired of this. If I have to clean the house one more time and wait around for 3.5 hours for this person not to show up, all right, I'm just going to kill somebody. All right, I'm tired of this mess. All right, can you structure a deal where we get a full commission in there, including the listing commission? I need you to list my home. But I told you I don't want to. Okay, twist my arm, all right? If you may, I'm just telling you, because you went at it from the back, on the total different person. Everybody else is knocking on their door. Hey, you're an idiot if you try and sell your house on your own, all right? Only fools would do that, yada, yada, yada. I'm the bomb, all right? Whatever, okay? Just, hey, I want buyers, all right? Your for sale by owner is a buyer magnet. So let me help you make a bigger magnet. And with my payment is, you only need one buyer, all right? And I'll take the other 9 that you don't need. By the way, hey, Mr. Jones, at the end of the day, we all know getting a contract is one part of it. If you find a buyer, right, you guys have it all put together, everything's great, you guys agree upon 185 with 3,000 in closing costs. All right, everything good, all right, we're good. Then you stare at each other and say, now what? Right? Call me up. I'll put that 1%. I'll put that deal together. I'll write up a legitimate contract that represents, that you guys reflects everything you guys have agreed upon, and do it. You do that for one. Yeah, I got to pay for my sign. Okay, what's 1%? 185,000. 1850. Right? It's better than a sharp poke in the eye. Right? I've done a lot more for a lot longer hours in my life. All right, to get $1,850. Right? And guess what? I got buyers along the way, right? I mean, I just totally went at a totally different perspective and attacking. Does it make sense? It's kind of going at, hey, look, don't tell me I can't do something because I'm going to prove to you I can. Like, hey, you can't sell your home. Hey, I bet you could, and I understand why, right? You're doing it because you want to save money. I get it. I want to save money. I'm with you. If I were in your shoes and I could do it on my own, I'd do it, right? And I offer them this kind of maybe this menu of services, right? Hey, look, you find the buyer, and you guys now what? All right, I'll hook you up with a good title company, right? We'll get you all squared away, boom, and you rock and roll, and you're done, and I'll help you walk through the process. All right, and it's just, I'm telling you, it worked wonders for me. All right, and I'm telling you about 95% of the people would be willing to, once I got in the door, once I got eyeball to eyeball, if I left them a note that said, hey, look, I'm willing to, I want to show your property, and if we can get something that's going to net what you want to net and still factor in a commission, I never got a call back. All right, but it was all the eyeball to eyeball. Catch them in person. Here we go. Hey, that's what we're going to do, and this is how we'll work it. And it's and it's just an amazing thing. And it's just and I truly believe those of you who came in a little bit late. I think for sale by owners are going to start coming back. All right, right now you might see some because they think, hey, look, the perception is it's so easy, right? If things are selling in 3 days, why do I have to pay 6%? That's a thought, right? But also what happens is they've got enough equity that, hey, look, I'm sitting on 20% of equity, all right? So if I give up 6% of it by, having to pay a realtor, so be it. That's just part of the cost of sale. Now when equities, hey, look, and I looked at the numbers and I've only got 7% equity, and I'm going to give up 6% of that? I'm not so sure. Maybe I'll write it out a little bit. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll, because the reality is they're going to write it out even if they list it. Because as things temper, then the length of time on the market's going to extend and so on and so forth. Anyway, so I think we're going to start seeing a few more for sale by owners because they're going to be cognizant. They're not just going to readily give up their money. Fair enough? Cool?
Bob, what did you say? Because I came in late.
Yep.
You were saying something about a sign. Were you making?
Yeah, I provide a sign for them. I would make a for sale by owner with their phone or customized sign because their signs were usually handwritten, and all that kind of. I just make it a little more professional. I even provide them with flyers. All right, nowadays, quite frankly, there's a thing, and I'm going to bring them in sometime, this group, listing power tools. All right, it's like in a box you get for $25 for every listing. You just send them that, and within 7 days it shows up with door hangers and a single property website, and all this kind of stuff that's already pre-designed, because all it is somebody's running them numbers, right, and doing this templated thing. So why not even do that? Well, now you're taking away everything you would do as a listing agent. So you beat people into the punch, right? And go pick up the buyers. And at the end of the day, the guy understands, hey, look, you know what? This is going way above and beyond. And maybe, hey, look, man, why are you selling, by the way, right? Well, I'm selling because we need to upsize. Well, who's helping you do that, right? Did you know it doesn't cost you anything to have a buyer representing you, yada, yada, yada? So why not pick up a buyer from the for sale by owner if they're staying local? Oh, but they're moving to North Carolina. Why not call an agent in North Carolina? You know what? You know how many times I say, okay, where are you moving? Pick a state.
Wisconsin.
Oh, I know a great agent in Wisconsin. Where are you moving?
Tennessee.
Oh, I know a great agent in Tennessee. That's awesome. You guys do some fantastic. Where are you moving?
Key West.
Oh, you know what? I know this dude in Key West, all right? It's just awesome. I know an agent. You know where I know an agent? Realtor.com. The CRS website, Certified Residential Specialist website. I'm going to vet them. I don't just pick a name, I call them up, say, hey, look, what price range are you looking? I'm looking for somebody. I start searching Realtor.com or Zillow for listings in that price range and say, hey, this person has 12 listings. Maybe check out their website. Check out their website. They've got a buyer's team. They got, got things going on. They sit there, here's their responsiveness, you know, they're professional. Looks like here's their reviews on Zillow. Okay, you know what? Let me help vet. I know how to vet somebody better than the client does. So, hey, you know what? Willing to pay me a referral fee? I got referral fees all over the place. Why not? People are moving out of state. Why not? Make a phone call? Please. 10 minutes worth of investigating, 15 at the most, in a phone call, and you make 25% of 3% of 400,000? Why not, right? Start thinking outside the box and get some other things going. So, absolutely. You know, just think of ways, again, trying to help them, right? You're consulting them. Hey, look, I get why you're not wanting to pay a commission. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either, right? And then sometimes you have to, literally, I would have to wear heavy boots, all right, because you have to stick your foot in the door, literally, before you get the door shut on your face. Because as soon as they, hey, you know, Mr. Jones, nice to meet you. My name's Bob McHugh. You got a realtor looking on you. He's like, I can smell it. Get out of my, you know, it's like, oh, you know, hang on. I don't want to list your house. You what? I said, I don't want to list your home. All right, I'm going to help, you know, and it's not, oh yeah, everybody says that. I'm not here to list your home. I'm here to sell it. BS, right? Yeah, here, sign this contract. All right, no, this is none of that. I'm talking, I want to see if I've got buyers. Let me show you my list, okay? Let me break out Thor. Here's my list of, you know, buyers I'm working with right now, and I'm telling you that I've got some that may, and I would tell them, you know, and quite frankly, some of my buyers, when I'm showing them property in your neighborhood, we avoid your street. Why? Because I don't want to see it for sale by owner. I get paid by selling homes, and this is, you know, a check for me, this buyer, and you're not willing to, you know, unless we can come to an agreement, I need to, you know, because, so they understand, just like I understood that they don't want to pay a commission, they understand why I want a commission, all right? And we just have an honest, open discussion about that, all right? Eyeball to eyeball, you can't. All right, try and say that in a brochure, impossible, right? But to have to just joke around and do it. Hey, good morning. So, cool? Everybody good? All right, we're going to cut this session so we can record a separate one. All right, is she sleeping?